Oh, he's been good to me.
Yes, sir.
And sometimes we just have to say thank you.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes we just ought to pray to God and just say thank you. We're not asking anything this time. God, I just wanted to say thank you. I was raised to have good manners. If somebody do something good for you, you'll say thank you. And I know God has done something good for all of y'all because you're here today. Some folk didn't have an opportunity to wake up this morning, and so you got up this morning. You ought to say thank you. I know you might have some aches and pains, but you can feel them aches and pains. I said you can feel them aches and pains. Some folk can't feel aches and pains. Even for the pain, we got to say thank you. Oh, I'm thankful. They don't like that. They don't want to say thank you for pain. But I'm thankful that I can feel it occasionally. God is truly good. We're thankful on today to celebrate Brother Herb Davis. I know what it feels like to stand in the Lord's pulpit. And let me just let y'all in on a secret. Preaching is about 15% of what we do as ministers. Okay. Seems like I'm going to have to buy a few amens. But to stand in the Lord's pulpit before God's people, it takes a lot of stamina. And some folk don't do it for a long time, but to even just for 3 years to keep on standing, and it's going to be even more years. We thank God that He has the stamina, the courage to continue to stand in the Lord's pulpit. So we're celebrating him today. You know, it's one thing in the church. Sometimes we don't want to celebrate the man of God. Folk think that that's putting him on a pedestal. But I'm going to tell you, if you've been here for just a few minutes, you understand the load that comes with it. And so we're going to take some time to appreciate him on today. I want you to dig into the word this morning. I don't intend to be long, but we're going to be strong this morning. 2 Kings chapter number 4. I know we read at verse number 8, but let me just tell you what happened in verses 1 through 7. Elisha came to this woman, and she was dealing with a little financial situation. She said, you know, the creditors are calling, and they're going to come tomorrow and collect. And Elisha said, well, I wonder what I can do. And she said, well, I don't know. She said, all I got is a little oil. I just got a little oil. And so Elisha tells her, he said, I want you to go out and get all the buckets and all the jars you can get. Go to your family member. Tell them to just bring you some jugs and some buckets. Just tell them bring all of it to the house. And he said, I want you to fill them up with oil. And so she took her little oil because of what the man of God told her. And she started pouring in buckets. And the oil didn't run out. And she got to filling up bucket after bucket after bucket after jar till finally he said, go get another jar. She said, there are no more jars. And at the point that there were no more jars, there was no more oil. He said, now you can sell the oil to pay your debt. Don't you want the man of God to come over to the house? You might be dealing with something, and the man of God will come over there and let you know something. So this is what Elisha does. He goes around and he serves the people of God with the power of God, with whatever they're going through. But I want you to see what he does for this Shunammite woman. Verse number 8. Now it happened one day, Elisha went to Shunem, and there was a notable woman, and she persuaded him to eat some food. So it was, as often as he passed by, he would turn in there to eat some food. I grew up in the country. Y'all know this. In country churches, whenever a preacher would come to town, somebody in the congregation would tell him to come come over to the house and have dinner. Do y'all know anything about that? You might not do it, but maybe you've heard somebody do it. That was the way that it was done, but it wasn't just in the old days in Columbia. It was in the old Bible days that when the preacher came to town, you told him, don't leave town unless you come over to my house and have something to eat. So this woman, she said, Elisha, whenever you come by, look at that, whenever you come by, whenever you pass by. Just think about it if we treated the man of God like that. Whenever you run into him, when you run into him at Kroger, you say, let me put something. Amen. Don't duck and dodge when you see him in Kroger. That's what folks do to me. So when they see me out in public, they run behind me. No, when you see him out in public, say, let me give you something because I gotta eat. And I know you gotta eat. Amen. Okay, y'all gonna be with me in a minute. But look at what she says. And she says to her husband, look now, I know that this is a holy man of God who passes by us regularly. I want to get this understood today. We're going to define it in both the morning message and the afternoon message. Notice I keep saying man of God, man of God. I don't know who told us this story, but sometimes people say about the man of God, well, he's just a man just like I am. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I know he's human like you, but he's God's man. God chose him to be his mouthpiece. And there's something about choosing a man of God. God does that. Let me help y'all with this. You heard him introduce my wife, Jenny. Now, Jenny is, as some folks would say, just a woman like all of y'all. And then to some degree, she's a woman like the rest of the women. But there's something special about her. She's mine. That changes everything, man. Because you can talk to any other woman like you want to, but when you talk to my woman, I know that he is a man by being human, but he's God's man. And when God says, that's my man, he's a man of God. So we got to have a respect for God. Amen. We got to have a respect for God's man. Notice she said, now this man of God keeps coming by here regularly. We got to do something for him. We got to get him something to eat. Amen. But it didn't stop there. She's still talking to her husband in verse number 10. She said, please let us make a small upper room on the wall and put a bed for him there and a table and a chair and a lampstand so that whenever he comes to us, he can turn in here. Now let me tell y'all what they had to do here. They had to renovate their house to build on an addition just for the man of God that came by regularly. He didn't live there. But they said, we don't want him to have to stop down at Holiday Inn every time he comes to town. We don't want the church to have to put him up in a hotel somewhere. Let's build him up. So we don't like that kind of talk. That's a little bit different now. They said, let's build a room. But listen, church, it didn't stop there. They said, let's put a bed in there and a table and a chair and a lampstand. They said, we got to get him a computer. So he can study when he comes here. Y'all on the line. Now I want y'all to see this. I'm not making this up. It started with a sandwich. It started with a sandwich, church. But now we have progressed to a place to stay. Oh, there's some word in that now. Y'all might not like it, but this is book. What that tells me is that we can't pay him the same thing we paid him 3 years ago. It started with a sandwich. God. See, the antithesis of that, if y'all talk crazy to my wife, you might get dealt with. I'm speaking a language that I know we understand. But if you bless my wife, that does something good for me. Are y'all on the line? When you act up towards God's man, you're going to get dealt with by God. Oh, but if you bless the man, it's in the book, y'all. It's in the book. So then watch what happened. Verse number 11. And it happened one day that he came there and turned in the upper room to lay down there. He came back by one day and went on up in his room. Y'all missed it. Next time he came through, he went in his room. Y'all and he says to his servant, call this Shunammite woman. When he called her, she stood before him. And he said to him, say now to her, look, you have been concerned for us with all this care. What can I do for you? Oh, yeah. We like to take people who may have what we consider to be a title and rip that away from them to say, well, he's just a man. Like, well, they just like they ain't nobody. They just a. But we shouldn't do that to people who serve us. Amen. See, I know that guy in the dentist's office, he's a guy just like I am, but when I got a toothache, I need him to be my dentist. All right. Are y'all on the line? I know the guy that's flying the plane is a man just like I am, but when he's handling my life 30,000 feet in the air, I need you to be a pilot, sir. And whatever I can do to help you to do that, if I need to sit down and be quiet, amen, somebody. So yes, he is human like us, but he's God's man, and he's been charged by God to serve us. That's why I say to folk that, preachers, this stuff here, and folk that, well, anybody can get up. No, anybody can't just get up. Let's stop that off the bat. Anybody just can't get up. And even if I put Remington behind the wheel of my car, that don't mean he can drive. Are y'all on the line? Come on. And then not just getting up here, but it's what takes place outside. Yes, sir. Yes. See, anybody ain't going to be by the hospital. All right. Anybody ain't going to be tossing and turning praying for your kids. Yes, sir. Are y'all on the line? Yes, sir. So now here's a man of God that has been charged by God to serve the people. Amen. You want to make sure you do them right. Yes. Now I know you know this principle. I know you know how to treat people who serve you. You don't get crazy with the person at McDonald's. Because you don't want them to. I might, when I go to the restaurant, I might say, once, but I ain't gonna keep sending it back there because But you know what we do? We'll do the man of God any kind of way. Yes, sir. Amen. Here's a man that's been charged by God to serve you. Yes, sir. All right. He said, what can I do for you? Quinshon, Elisha had some contacts. He had some contacts in the community. He had some contacts in government. He said, do you want me to speak on your behalf to the king or to the commander of the army? Man, to be able to have somebody that sleep in your house, that's got connections with the king, man, or the commander of the military. But you know what she said? She said, I'm good. I dwell among my people. I'm all right. We're good here. he said, but what then is to be done for her? Here's what you want, church. You want the man of God talking to God on your behalf. You want him to be saying, God, but they do me so well. And they've been going through so much. You need to bless them. Because something has got to be done.
All right.
His servant said, actually, she has no son. And her husband is old. So he said, call her. And when they called her, she stood in the door. And he said, about this time next year, you will embrace my son. Y'all want you to see this connection.
All right.
Because it started with a son.
Yes, sir.
It's ending up with a son.
Yes, sir.
She didn't come asking for a son.
No.
She came doing for the man of God.
Yes, sir.
If I can just help the man of God a little bit, that's all I want to do. She said, I'm not doing it for recognition. I'm not doing it so I can get something out of the deal. Even though if I wanted to get something out of the deal, I can tell him to talk to the king and I can get something. But I'm good. I don't need, I ain't wanting for nothing right now. But because she took such good care of the man of God, he said, you're going to be blessed with something that is beyond your wildest imagination. You thought that you were at a place that couldn't be changed. You thought you were in a situation that was long past, but when you do the man of God, God has a way of turning that thing around and blessing you beyond your wildest. I said it started. It started with sex. But it progressed to a place to stay. Amen. Brother Herbie, it might be a sandwich, brother. One of these days, they might even have you a place to stay.
All right.
I'm trying to get you to see it. How we do God's man is a blessing to God. And whenever we do something to bless God, God blesses us.
Yes, sir.
And I don't want you to have this attitude, because we do this with contribution and collection. We try to give so we can get. Remember her attitude. It wasn't I'm doing this so I can get something out of this. She said, I just see her pass by here so often. I know he needs something to eat. Let me help him. So he won't have to pay so much for a hotel. Let me help him. Let me do what I can. And let me give this to you before I let you go. Don't let it stop with just God's man.
Amen.
There are people who teach your kids. You know all that Bible study you're supposed to be having with your kids at home? Hello? You know what you do? You come on Wednesday night and you just drop them off. And you want them to be calm. You bring them on Sunday morning. You want somebody else to. See, you bypass Deuteronomy where God tells parents to, hey, when they get up in the morning, give them the word. When they lay down, give them the word. When they leave the house, give them the word. When they come back in, give them the word. When they at the table, give them the word. When they get up from the table, give them the word. That's all of that. We want to teach us on Wednesday night. You better get, amen. You better do them good. Because some of your kids wouldn't know the. Some of would know
No.
if it wasn't for the Bible. For those that God has placed on their heart and called them to serve the people of God,
Yes, sir.
you better appreciate that. And when you do that, God is blessed.
That's all right, brother.
Oh, and God loves to be blessed by his people.
Oh, yeah.
He loves to know that you're taking care of his man.
Yes, sir.
There's somebody here today that you might be in a tough spot right now. And as we even heard from the prayer request on this morning, all of us are going to go through some tough spots. All of us are going to go through it. If you ain't been through one, keep saying good morning.
All right.
You'll go through one at some time.
Yes,
But ain't it good to know
Oh, yeah.
that you got a man of God
Yes, sir.
who's praying to God
Praying for you.
in your behalf?
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to tell you, sometimes it gets tough. Moses, sometimes whenever God would get mad at Israel, Moses would say, God, those are my people. And then when Israel would get an attitude with Moses, Moses would say, God, your people. Yes, sir. And there was one occasion when Moses said, these people.
Yeah, that's right.
But to know that the man of God is praying for you today,
Yes,
and praying even after hours, even before he goes to bed at night, and tossing and turning, figuring out what he can do to help to serve you, is a blessing, church. There's somebody today who might be ready to obey the gospel of Christ. You've heard the word of God. Believe the word of God. Repent of your sins. Turn from the wickedness of the world to the righteousness of God. Confess the sweetest name that mortal tongue can call. Something about the name Jesus. I mean, it's the sweetest name I know. Oh, how I love it.
yes.
Oh, the name whereby we must be saved. Confessing the sweet name of Jesus. Being baptized, buried in the watery grave of baptism. To rise and walk in the newness of life. Holified, sanctified, justified, purified, glorified in his name. And if you live faithful unto death and you walk in those pearly gates, you'll surely be satisfied.
Yes.
Oh, what a beautiful, beautiful day that'll be. There's somebody today who stands in the need of prayer. We'll pray for you today because we know that prayer changes. If you're subject to the invitation, we bid you to come as we together stand and we sing. I really love